A story is about you collecting data, because once you collect the data, now you can understand what it is that's moving the market one way or another. If we trapping, we trapping. So we trapping in the comments. So let's talk about how we got here. Right, so in April, the market gave us minus 5%. So we had a 5% pullback in April. Right? We saw Nvidia go from 976 to 796. We saw that, excuse me. We saw that. We saw Apple go all the way to 160-ish. Now it's pushing what? 190, 191, right? 190, 191. All right. We saw AVGO go from 1451 down to 1246. It's now at 1408. AVGO? 1400. What it is right now? 1400. All right. And then we saw Meta go from 530 to 408. We saw that. Looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Amazon kind of been moving sideways. That's good. I'm just talking about big drops in companies that we know was really getting busy. Right? Now, the thing about this is they carry weight. All right? We saw this. Now, of course, the problem with this is the 5% pullback took us on a 6-week journey. These 6 weeks are how we were tested. Right? And then we saw a couple events happen that changed the dynamic of the market. And so here's some of the events that we saw happen. Now, so let's talk about some of the things that were at the forefront during those events. Right? Y'all with me right quick? Watch this. So let's talk about something we had on the thing. We saw jobs increase. We saw CPI come in hot. We saw war, we'll call bombing. Right? We saw these things happen. Watch this. We saw housing. And then we saw inflation increase. Right? Just the price of things, we saw that go up. And then we saw, watch this, 7 Fed members publicly talk about hikes. And then, there's one more thing. We saw 10-year hit 5. It was like 4.9. Right? So we saw these events. So what does all this do? What does all of this cause in the market? Panic. All of that caused panic in the market. So when this happens, so think about this. All of this happened at one time. Right? So when that happens, now the market starts to walk on eggshells. All right? So here's some of the things we saw change. Right? And so one of the things I talk to my Patreon members about, and one of the things I talk about my Trapper community about, is understanding the story. And the story is just you, watch this, collecting data. That's all the story is. A story is about you collecting data, because once you collect the data, now you can understand what it is that's moving the market one way or another. If we trapping, we trapping. Say we trapping in the comments, right? A story is you collecting data, pinpointing everything that's causing the market to move. Now, I told my trappers and I told my Patreon this. The market has hit 4.8. I said, we are hot. I say we hot. I say when the market gets to 4.6, we'll take a position. And it was like, why? Because I said, if it's hot, if it's still running hot, we don't want to catch it while it's falling. We want some form of stabilization. I'm looking for I don't want to catch it while it's dropping. I want to find some form of stabilization. Because watch this. You're going to hear me say this in a portfolio mastery class. We don't look for the bottom. Why, Trap? Because we look for entries. We don't look for the bottom. You know why? Because we don't know what the bottom is. But we look for entries. In the portfolio mastery class, we're going to show this a little bit more. I'm going to I'm going to tell y'all something right now. In the portfolio mastery class, the slides and the workbook is just for y'all. I'm going to be on this goddamn whiteboard. The slides and the workbook that I'm going to be teaching from is kind of going to be for y'all. The fill in the blanks is going to be for y'all. I'm going to be on this whiteboard giving y'all the business. From 10 to 4. Nothing but business. You feel me? So we don't look for the bottom, y'all. We look for interest. You know why? Because if we look for the bottom, we're going to consistently be saying it's going to go lower. It's going to go lower. It's going to go lower. But if we can paint a picture about events that's going on, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about in the portfolio mastery class, how to paint a storybook picture. How to paint a story. Jose dropped the link. I think we have 15 seats left. It is next week for the portfolio mastery class. It's May 30th. We're doing a meet and greet from 7 to I don't know what time. And then Friday, May the 31st, we're doing 10 to 4 class. Saturday, the 1st, 10 to 4 class. In the studio, 55 people. I think we have 15 seats left. So, and I got somebody come. Matter of fact, I got to hit Strike up today. He sent me the list. I said, Strike, that's too much. I said, it's only 50 people, 55 people. Why you got lobster, salmon. He got lobster, salmon, rack of lamb, veg. I say, Mike, no. I say, Strike, no. We're not doing all that. Give me one red meat, one seafood, one veggie. You got salmon, lobster, shrimp po' boys, rack of lamb, and a veggie. No, Mike. No, Strike. We're not doing that. What are you doing? Arugula salad? No. 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 Oh, gumbo collard greens? No. 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 I said, bro, 55 people. Appetizer and a salad, my dog. That's it. He had a whole, no. I had to get him out. I said, they're not going to want to learn. They're going to want to be sleepy. No, what you doing, bro? We feed them at 12. They still got to go to 4. What you doing? No, we're not doing that. So I gotta get back with Strike after that. I said, no, indeed, no, Strike. But anyway, so I said this to say we don't look for the bottom, we look for entries. Right? Because entries do what? Position us. Entries position us. Now, the worst thing that can happen to a person is, watch this, Jose. The worst thing that can happen to a person is once you make an entry here, let's say you make an entry at 440 and the stock goes to 4 20, you panic, sell to get back in at a cheaper price. We're doing the wrong thing. So I don't mind you getting that 440, but now I'm going to show you how to do what? Pricing points. Because we don't want to catch a falling knife. We don't want to catch a falling knife. We want to position ourselves properly. We don't want to catch a falling knife, which is why we need to tell the story. If we tell the story and then we identify this event, we identify market event, sector event, industry event, company event. This is how we position ourselves. Positioning yourselves puts you in a different mindset, and when you position yourself, now you are reshaping your financial structure. But if you don't understand none of this, then you can't even position your portfolio to be profitable for you. So here's some things that we know did happen, Jose. One, Jerome said no rate hikes. He came out and said that we ain't hiking no rates. That was a check mark for the market. The next thing that happened, and people don't agree with it, was Apple beat earnings, rev, and guidance. That was big. Next, we saw a cool CPI and a jobs came in at 170K. They was expecting 190 or more. And then we saw the 10-year drop to what? 4.6, and then we got a 4.2. All those things combined, watch me right quick though, and now we get this. Y'all see how we tied that in? Mind you, we went from what? We went from rocking 30, then we went to 40, 41. Last week, we was at 51, but we was in the neutral. And in 1 week, we went from 51 to 63, but we saw how the events changed slowly but surely. We saw the market do what? Tilt. But watch this. If you're in a Patreon, or if you're in Trappers Anonymous, even when I don't put a play in, I'm still giving us data on how we see the market moving. On my Patreon people and on my Trappers Anonymous people, am I right or am I wrong? Tell me in the comments. Even on the days I didn't put a play in, I also put data in. Hey, y'all, this is what we see happening. If we see this, this is how the market is pivoting the way we wanted to go. So when the market is giving you what? When the market is applying the most pressure, that's when you need to learn how to stand firm on the information that you have.